I have different text sizes that I've actually stated here that I've used for this design, and with the H2 being 36 and the H1 will be around 50 or so. So I'm just going to grab a text. I'm not going to be working with the text here, so we're recreating this. So I'll grab a text. Let's move this way and move this closer so that we can see the content we're working with. Alright, I guess everyone can see this clearly. Okay, so I'll drag this to touch the margin and ensure that it's touching the margin so it doesn't go across where we've given for the margin. Change this text to white, and I'm going to type banking mid 4. I'll make that text medium and I'll reduce the size. It's currently at 36, so I'm going to reduce the size to 32. I'm going to work with 32, drag it downwards and type digital freelancers. And with this I would click here and give it uppercasing because I don't want to change that manually, and then we're going to give that around, let's say 64. 64 is too much. Initially I had 50, so let's see how that looks. Okay, so 50 is good, and then we can change the color. I have a linear color here for it in my color style, and grab this text, bring it downwards, and I'll just copy this text and just paste it. It's going to be the same size, all right, and then change it to 15. So that would be the text, and it's on auto. So I'm going to change my height, my text height, my line height rather, to 24. So this is what I'm going to have, and I'm going to change this other one from 61 to 70. Let's see. No, that's just type auto and would have this. So space between them is 13. I'm going to make that, in this design I'm going to make it 10, and then with this one and this one I'm going to make it 20. Yeah, cool. And then we can create buttons. So I would use the frame. So I'm using frame. With frame I will just draw a button. Alright, and my button height is 60. Alright, so you can use 60 or you can use 55. So for this purpose I would use 50. I'll give it the primary color, the purple color, and then I'll type 100 as radius. 100 as radius. I'm going to make this text 16. I don't like how it looks, so make the text 16. Yeah, so let's use 16 for that. I'll grab this, bring it downwards, and I'm actually going to change this text. I'll make it Mena Grotex. Yeah, I like it. Mena Grotex. That's what I'll be using for this particular redesign. And for this one, it was Inter, but I'm going to use Neo Helvetica for it. I think that gives a more legible font for this purpose, and move this upward. This digital, I'll just change this to bank. Let's look for another word. Someone just give me a word in the chat section. I'll come back to it. I need the word to enter 2 lines, so just give me any word and I'll come back to it. Alright, for this one, so we're sticking to Neo Helvetica and Mena Grotex as text, and for this one I'm going to type get started. Cool. Brick. So make that 16. I'm going to change it from Roman to bold, and then center that horizontally and vertically aligned. Right, so this button looks quite big, so I'm just going to stick with 57. Right, and I'm going to constrain this to left and right. That's center, so that whatever I do to it, it follows that line. So whatever I do, it follows. It would become more responsive. Hide this. I don't like seeing that green. And yeah, so let's grab the logo down here. The logo is somewhere here. Let's grab this one, right, and bringing it here. Change that to all white. But we already have this here, so we'll just use this. Okay. The size is 24, so you can lock it. The size for the menu icon rather, is 64. Align it the center so that they are on the same line, and then we can have a breaker. So we're going to have a line here, and what I've done in the other one is I've given it a linear. I've given it about 4 colors, and the endpoints have a linear of about 0%. So let's do the same thing. Give it white. For now, we'll come back to it. Let's just make that white. If I forget, somebody just let me know in the comment section. And then grab this text down here and type. So there's no need to type that. Copy this, paste, and center this. Alright, bring it up a bit. I'm going to give it a space of 16. So the space after the space between the button and the text beneath it, sign up today and get 50% points, is 16. I'm going to drop the opacity to about from 50 to 70%. Let's do 70. Yeah, I like 70. And this as well, we'll make this 70 as well. Or you can actually choose a different color. So I have that color. Yeah, so I'm going to make it this color. Same with this, my flap color. I wish I can give you guys all the colors. Maybe at the end I'll just give you the color codes in case you want to try this. But I think I've uploaded, no, there's no need. I uploaded this in my Figma community, so you can grab it and see how it was done. Alright, let's move on. So I'm actually going to recreate this. Let me show you how this was created real quick. I don't just want to show you prototype. I want to show you how I created everything that was used. Yeah, so let's grab this out, and then we're going to create a frame. Just hit a frame here inside of your design, right, somewhere around there, and then give it a color white for now, and a radius of 15%. So I'm using a radius of 15, and then with that we have this. What you have here is just the icon, the brand icon of their logo, but now I've used the icon to do something. So with one of the icon, I was able to create an illusion inside of the design that looked more like a pattern. I actually used it to create a pattern, not that looks like it's a pattern. So I created a pattern for it, and we're going to have this. Select all of this, send them to the back, and then we can now give it different colors. So yeah, so select all of this. This is going to be at the top. I'm going to change the name to icon so that I know the rest of them. Select the rest of them, change their color to white, and change the background color for this to my flap color. For now I'm going to use a more lighter color, yeah, inner component color. If you need to write this down, just write it down: F7, F8, FC. So I don't need to repeat that, you hear it again when you watch the video. So if we zoom into this, we can now create certain things like blurs. So let's bring this way. delete that. We'll grab that again. Okay. Grab the visa icon. The visa icon can be gotten from Iconify. So grab that in, align it to the left side of this, and then we have this other one, which is, we'll make this 10 in size and bring it in here. Both of them, auto layout, and then constrain to the right, so that when we extend this from this point, is always at that point. If we extend this one, it moves with it. Can constrain this as well. Right, what's the other information? So I'll just grab all of this information. I'll tell you what their sizes are, so you just know what they are. So we're going to use 12 for this. Use 12 for their sizes. Yeah, and I've put it in an auto layout frame, left aligned, and we can also grab this. Right. I'm going to change the, okay, so we have this one as well. I'll reduce the size of this one a bit. Together with this, center them horizontally, and my name, bring it here. I actually feel the layout for this design can be better, so I'm going to move this to the center. I'll center it, and then with this one I'll bring it down here. I know they are like terms. Then for my name, I'm actually going to make it capital letter, and it would not be this font. It will be Mena Text. Make that bold. Oh, amazing! I like that. Right. So with this, I will now have to create some kind of stuff here, because I'm going to be creating some drop shadows. So select this one, apply a drop shadow, extend it downwards bits, and on the x-axis as well, and then we're going to choose the background color, take it downwards a bit, and then blur it to about 60%. Let's see what 60 looks like, and then we can reduce the opacity a bit, something like this. Quite a lot went into this. I would give this a radius of about 15, and extend this one to cover up the other space at the top. Okay, so we'll extend this other one as well. Send it to the back. Since we already have a blur value, I'll just add it to the style so that I don't need to do that again. So I'm going to type effects, right, and I would apply that to this one as well. Select the style here and choose the second effect. And with that, I can blur this, change the radius to 15, change the radius of these two as well to 15. You can either press enter or press done at the top. We'll do the same thing to this one, but before we do that, let's extend this. This would be the last one, so I'll just extend it completely like this. No need for this to be too far away, and send it to the back. Alright, with this I would choose the effect again and we're going to change the radius as usual to 15%. Great. Right, so let me move this way and move this way. This will be completely outside, and let's do same thing for this. Something like this, radius of 15%, radius of 15%. Cool. So with that, we can title it card. Just bring it into our design. We're going to use this card as a base for most of the things we'll be designing. So like, what I mean is we're going to use it for some of the things we're going to create. So the background for this, I'm going to change the background now. Choose the main background. This should be the background, and then we'll give it a white stroke, and it's going to be outside. So we're going to use around 5. Let me see how that. Let's use 2. Right. And this, I'm just going to choose this color for this one. Cool. Let's see how that looks. So I'm going to change it to inside. Yes, I like that. Right, change my radius to 10. I don't like how too rounded it is. And we can now proceed. So at the top, I'm going to drag this. So because I haven't constrained these designs, so I'm constraining them to the top. I'll just select all of them actually. All, select all. Yeah, including everything, just constraining to the left and the top. Now if I try to, and what's happening there? Left, which other one? Okay, so with that we can extend it, and now we're going to design. Just bring this, I'm just going to bring this in. It's just text, okay? It's just text, so I'll bring that in, but I'm going to recreate this so that you see what I was talking about. So just grab all of these and move them in. Let's move them in. This one, center it, center as well. And I'm going to break it. Let it touch the both ends. And select both of them with this on auto layout, center it. Now we're going to put all of this in a different color. So from here, you know what, let's have it for the top. So we'll just do it for the top alone, and this top color would be our hero top color. Send that to the back, and we have that. Right, so the background, I have a background color for it already, titled background. So we have this now, and let's proceed. So now I need this to follow me, so it's going to be somewhere around here. Change our color of the background grid to black so we can see what we're doing. Now we're going to design this card, and then we're going to use it for the rest of the items to follow consistency. So drag this and change it to white. There are ways you can actually create an illusion of drop shadow without actually creating a drop shadow. It's by using a particular shade of gray, not a particular, there are different shades of gray you can use, and then placing white on it, and it will look like you have a drop shadow on that particular stuff, just like this one. But there's no drop shadow on it. So I hope this helps someone out there. So with that on, we're going to design this. So let's move this downwards. Now I'm going to use a particular, I'm going to do this for I'm going to do it for these 3, or if we can get into this 4th one, we would. So I'm going to use a particular frame for the image section, because this component, even though it's not a component now, was has elements like text, shape, these are shapes, icons, and then an image section. So that is what is consistent across all of them. So it has to be consistent in the design. So we're going to have to do, so I'm going to give it a spacing of 18. So I'll draw this, align it to the left, and the width is 25. So I'm going to change that to 20. I've given it a width of 20, and duplicate that, send that to the end, and then with this I can now tell where my inner stuff should end. So I'm not done, so duplicate it and send to the top and center it, and then let's change the color to something like our flap color, so that we know what is happening there. So I'll move this to this point. This was just me trying to understand where my margin will stop at the inside of this. So I'll delete this one as well. Now it's time to align it to the top, so I'll just press with my navigation key 1 step, and it touches that remaining 1 line. Delete that, I don't need it anymore. And so I have that. So I'll just hide my grid for now, so that it doesn't affect your eyes so much, and we can now work with what we have. Now we already have a particular style we're using, so I'm just going to grab these 2 texts, bring them in here, align them to the left, and then select both of them and align left. Now we're going to be using the left alignment throughout. So in order for us to achieve this, I'm going to reduce this one this way and this one this way as well, so that they flow in the manner that we want. So the first word here is unlimited, so copy and paste that, and the next one is rewards. Let's just type that, rewards, and we have this. Now I think I have a second, let me see, that's not it. So I have another grid. Okay, so let's use this one. The colors are different. It starts with purple and ends with the light blue, but let's continue with this. Or you know what, I'll just add this to my design system, my color style, linear 2, so that I have that, and then select this. With that I can use it across everything now with this, and that is pretty much what I'll be doing. Right, so if we extend this, cool, awesome. So with this I would grab the body text. So I'll just grab this. No, let me grab this, bring it in to this file, and place it in line with that. I'm going to make this what's it now, 16, so the proximity between both of them will be 16, and then I'm going to change the text to body text. Sorry, I selected the wrong thing. Select this and change it to text color, and we have this. So let this flow here, and then we can copy this, and then we have this sorted. Right, awesome. We've put that in an auto layout frame, and I will just take it up some more. Let's do 14, and we're to have a line go across this, so draw a line this way, move it upward a bit, somewhere around here, and change it to my line color. I have a line color, center it at the center, and just grab this and center it, put it at the center, move it in. Now I'm going to put it in a frame actually, so that I know that it's centered. Now everything has to be calculated, so I know it's centered, and I'll send that to the back, make the background kind of white, and select this. I'll cut it out, put it inside of this frame, send it to the top. It may be hidden, so if it's hidden, if you send it to the top like this, select the frame and on clip content. So there's clip content, just click on it and then you can be able to see that object. That way if you move this, it moves with that line as well, and then you can select this and center it horizontally and vertically. Great. So where our content is coming fine, but we have one thing. So I'll constrain this to the down part. I'll constrain this to the down as well, because I want to increase the height of this text. So by doing that, I would have to move this component a bit downwards, right? And then I would move this text. I'm moving it so that it will be the same frame with everything I'm designing in this design, and it won't have to compete. It won't have to make me create different frames for all of these kind of images. So everything would be the same size, including this one. You can see this one is longer. This one, the height of this one is 233, and then the height of this one is 154. So I want everything to conform inside of the same height. So my components will be fine. I don't want to create a variance for this. So with this first one, I change the color to the inner component color, and then we can create images for all of them. So I'm going to grab this, move it out. That would be our base for all of the images we'll be creating. Duplicate it and then work on this first one. So the first one is going to have, let's move this upward. It's going to have this line. Alright, so it's still going to have that calculation. So I won't do that calculation again because time is going. My time is already fast spent. Alright, so select this purple color and then duplicate it. Now we're going to give it different shades. Alright, so with this I'll send this to the back, but before I do that I would delete this first, and then, you know, let's just grab all of this text in here, copy it and paste it inside of this. Alright, you can see the other one is longer, so move it this way and auto layout at the top. So it should also layout at the top, and then center this horizontally and vertically. That way we can now create the other variations, and this time I would reduce the size to something like this, move it upward a bit, something like this, and I'll just choose a color, send it to the back, duplicate it and reduce the size a bit like this, send it to the back, and then give it that last color. Right, nice. So this would work for if we're creating like a prototype. I'm actually going to make this semi-bold. We're creating a prototype, so these other ones we can now bring them at the top. So we can always bring them at the top to create the prototype. So I might not have time to create all the prototypes. I'll just choose one to create, but let's just create the images. So for this one, I'll just, because of time, just grab this out and move it in here. It already has like a prototype, so I'll remove the prototype from it. So we're going to have what's it called, detach instance, and then I'm just going to grab, in fact I'm just going to grab all of the text in here, cut them and paste them in here, center, yeah, perfect. And then we can now round those corners. I think about 300 should give a perfect round. Cool. Delete this one, select this, move it downwards, delete this, move this downwards, select all of this, delete it, and what's the next one? Okay, copy that, come back here, paste it, and we can do detach instance, right, and move this in. I'm going to reduce the size a bit, something like this. Let's see if it has. So we have it as 3. So let's break this. I'm going to show you how this was created. Do this, move it in, center it. No, sorry, I was going to center it at the middle. Alright, I'm going to create some more. I'll duplicate it like 2 more times, and let's grab all of this. Let's just grab this and make it the background. Let's group that, send that to the back, reduce the size a bit. Yeah, something like this. Then we can get rid of this. You know what? Let's work with these 3. So we're going to prototype these 3 elements. So I'm going to just change it to image. Copy that. Image 1, image 2, image 3. Let me check the comment section, the chat session. Okay. New digital freelancers. Thank you very much. I love that. Lua Dare or Dari. Thank you for that. I like that. New digital. For all. Let's use for all new. Let me see if that will enter. It won't enter. Okay. Let's do that here. For all new digital freelancers. Thank you, Dari. Okay, so let's proceed. So in order for you to actually get a prototype, to get an accurate prototype, there are certain things you need to do. First, you need a component, and then you'll be able to create that prototype. So there are things known as component sets. There are a set of components you've created, and with them, either 2 or more, you can be able to create prototype between those component sets. So in order for us to have that prototype, we would have to do something here before we can have a primary component that will be used across board. But in order for us to have this primary component, we'll need to have like an image base. So we'll need to put all of this in a prototype, in a component rather, and then by putting all of these images in a component, we'll be able to change them within this primary component. So what I mean is, if we have, for instance, if I come to this one, this is not a prototype. If I come to this one and I didn't title, if I do another frame, you see it changes. It gives you different layers of what I have created initially and even the empty state, right? So you're going to create this for, let me do like an obvious one. Yeah, this one. So if I do this, you're going to see where it is, all right, but that was not its primary state, all right. And then by doing all of those components, creating all of those prototypes, you can now push these stuffs into here and then they will work. But in order for us to make all of these elements, all of these images, a prototype that will work inside there, we would have to create their different components. So we're going to start with this one. This one is going to be flowing just like we have it in the prototype. So if I go to that part, you can see it flowing on its own. I'm not doing anything, it's just flowing on its own. All right, so in order for us to have that, I'll come back to the file. Would need to do something. So this is what you're going to do. Now if you look at what I've selected, it's very long. It gets to this point. All right, for us to have a good prototype that would flow on its own, would have to make this, I would have to reduce the height, the length, not the length, the width of this. So I'm reducing it to this point, all right, and then I'll move it out. You're still going to see other things. These are the other things. If I click content, you won't see them again. if I turn on the content, you're going to see it. So I'm going to click content. Now I have it at the starting point. This is the starting point, and then I'll duplicate it. In order for me to create that free flow, I'll duplicate it, and then by selecting, sorry, let me do this first. So I have just one frame here. So if I try to move anyone, it will not give me that free flow I want. So I'm going to create another frame around it. All right, and let's just make this only a stroke line so that you can see what I'm doing. Close out the fill, or let's give it a fill. Yeah, and remove the stroke. So with this, I would move this to touch here, and then hold control to move this. Why I'm holding control is if I do this, you see what happens. All right, but that's not what I'm aiming at. So I'll hold control, and with my left click, I can get that done. Do it for this part as well, and the top. Now let's change that color and see what we did there. Awesome, this is accurate. This is what I was aiming for. Right, so we can remove all of those stuff. We don't need the fill, we don't need all of that. Now we have our frame, so we're going to call these the default frame or frame 1, whatever you want to call it. And then for this one, I'll just select the file inside. This is the file inside. Select it, and I'm going to come, if you look at what I'm doing, I'll go to the alignment tool and align right. Now you see all of this will change. It will take me to the last item. This is default. This. Okay, so it didn't take me to the last item because of something. Sorry. So before we put this into that frame, we did something. So Figma has recognized it as only 2 items. So we're going to extend this back to the number that we had initially, and then move it in again. So center it left and right, and we're going to leave it at that for now. We already have this frame, so extend this one, select it, and hit align right. So with that, we have this, and you can see the other part of it is this way. So with this, I would leave it like this, select both of them, close the color fill, which is the background fill. I'll select both of them and hit create component set at the top. So I'll do that again in case I was too fast. When you select both of them, go to the top where you have components, click on the drop down arrow and choose create component set. Now with this, I have to create an interaction, so I'll go to prototype. All right, select the first one and then drag the arrow downwards. This pops out. Now we're going to be using after delay, so I'll go to after delay, change it to smart animate. All right, and I'm going to change this to I think it's 0 or 1, and then this other one will be like 10,000. Yeah, so you can type anything, it will still give you 10,000 if it exceeds 6 digits. All right, and then for this one that is returning back to this one, I would drag it from here to it, and it's going to be, I'm going to give it 200 ms, and it's going to be on after delay. All right, after delay would also be 1 ms. So we're going to test this out and see what happens, and so we can be sure that that is what we've done. So draw a frame and then drag that out. I would give my frame a different color. Let's make that red. That red is too shouty, so let's give it like this. Yeah, nice. And then play. While that is working, while that is loading, we can now move this prototype. You can find it in the assets, so from assets you can see it here and drag it out and then put it in your frame, or you can click this one, hold Alt. If you're my kind of person, I don't like to click multiple things. You can just hold Alt and drag this out. It will still be a component, and if you use it, it will still be, it's still the same. So let's just use this one that we brought out, put it here. All right, and then we're going to align it to touch the border. So to touch the border and center it at the middle like that, and let's see what we have in our prototype. Awesome. So we have this in our prototype. It's inside a frame, that's why it's this way. So it's what we actually want. So let's go back to this tab. Right, so we have that, and that is correct. So we have our first completed prototype ready, and we're going to have like a second one. So the second one will be this one, and then if we have time, we'll do this one. All right, so let's move this one downwards. We've done one, so select this one, duplicate it. All right, now if this goes downwards, where do you think it will get to? Which one of these would it be? So if this goes downwards, it's going to be the last one, and then the second one will become first, and the last one will become second, the first one will become last. So that's what you're going to do. To do that, all you need to do is select this. So what I like to do first is draw this, bring these drop downs, my grid, so that it guides me where I'm to stop. This is not all right. Can anyone hear me? Sorry, my Wi-Fi went off. Can anyone hear me? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have this. So with this, we can now do what we're supposed to do. Select this one. I'm going to also keep this here. So I'm going to be working a lot of the grids. Do it for the next one as well. These grids will help give me something perfect. If not, we're going to have a wacky prototype. So let me zoom into this, and then we'll keep it here as well. Nice. So you see, it has told us that this is not even on the grid. So that means we're going to move this ×2. So I have this. I'm going to select this, hold my scale tool, move it that way, come this way, and ensure that they are correct. And I'm going to send it. Awesome. Now we have something very accurate, pixel perfect. That's what we mean by pixel perfect. So everything is perfect. I'm going to delete this one. We don't need that one because it didn't give us something accurate. And then we're going to do, don't bother about the lines, they won't show. And then we can now move this. So move this one, move it downwards. So we're going to bring it downwards this way, and we're going to reduce it this way and this way, and then bring it downwards to touch that. Awesome. Send it to the back, select this one, move it upward, and then bring it downwards that way. Awesome. We have that. Select this one, move it this way and this way, and oh shit, sorry about that, and then it has to touch that line. Great. That's not pixel perfect. Is that pixel perfect? Okay, let's see. It's not touching my line, but no wahala. Okay, so we're going to just do it for these two. There's no more time, so I'll do it for these two. But that's the same way you can do it for all of them, for the three of them. And then with this, what I want to do is I want them to come in front of each other in the prototype, so they'll just be exchanging their positions from all of them. So in order for you to do this, it's not just you moving this one, changing the color. You have to move them, and it's going to give you that effect of it moving the way you want it to move. So with this done, all I need to do is select both of them, both frames, and you know what, okay, so I will not just prototype the elements. Let me select the both frames, but you can prototype just the elements. All right, so I'll select the both frames, move it this way, and create a component set for both of them. Select this one, and then go to our prototype and move this. So because this will be showing on its own, you don't have to type, you don't have to click anything before it works. Yes, so we're going to use, yeah, you guessed right, after delay. So we're going to use after delay, and I'm trying to study because I didn't do a prototype for this in the formal design. So with this, you can be able to tell how slow and how fast it's going to be. So this is going to be showing, and then it will move to this and back to this, and just kind of back and forth. All right, I would need an empty state. But let's work with this and see what result we get. All right, so with the after delay, we're going to put it at 800. 800 is fine, and then 200 ms. I think that's fine as well. All right, select this one and move it backward, and you're going to have the same figure as well. So let's see how this would work. Let's duplicate this, delete this content, and then with this I will extend it some more. Select any of these and move it into this frame, center, align it, select it, and we'll have to play that. So go to prototype, my recorder is covering it, so I'll just click on flow starting point and press play. Oh shit. Wow. Hello, so sorry. I don't know. There's light and my Wi-Fi is going off. I don't know what's happening. If you can hear me, please just let me know. I'll just wrap up with these two prototypes, and I guess you would have an understanding of how it works. Yeah, thank you, Joshua. All right, so I had played the prototype. Let me find it. It should be here. Awesome. So we have it here. So let me remove the frame, put it at none so that we can see it clearly. Okay, so this is how it is, and if I had created it for all of them, it will also be this way. So you can also make it slow, you can make it faster, whichever way you want it to be, and it's going to work in that way. So I'll come back to this tab. So we have those two ready, and all I need to do, I'm actually going to work with these two. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what's happening to my Wi-Fi. So I'll work with these two. Select this. To do this one, all you need to do to be able to achieve this is you multiply it 3 times, and for each of them you would select all of them and reduce them in the different frames 3 times, or however times you want it, but I'll recommend 3 times, and then you would put it on after delay. You know what, let me do that. Let me do that now. So we have this frame, this is the main frame, and then I should be able to do that quickly. So select everything in it, move it downwards this way, select it again, duplicate it, and this time I'm going to hide most of them. So downwards, I'm holding shift, so move it downwards this way. Alright, select all of this, move it this way, and with this I'm going to create an empty state for it actually. So let's move it this way, and then this one I'll move it this way, and this one I would move it upward because it will fall from the top, so I'll just move it upward this way, somewhere around there, and just send it inside. Yeah, so it's hiding. The idea is for it to look like it fell from the top, so you would see how it would work when we prototype this. So select all of it, go up here and hit create component set. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing. So prototype to the next one. All right, and then from here it's definitely going to be after delay, and it's on 800 ms, but we're going to test it and see which one would work. All right, so I'm doing this live. I'm not like, I don't have like a pre-recorded document. So select after delay, the same thing for this one, after delay with the default setting, and then from the last one it would come back to, would it be this one? Let's put it at this one. So if it falls, if something falls off, which one would it go to? So let's take it to the first one, right, and put that at after delay. So let's see if that works. Send this out, select this, move it into it, and let's see what we have, if it gives us a desired result. Okay, so we're going to reload this screen and see. Okay, so that is really fast, but that is actually what we want. So I'm going to have to put it on, I have to actually put it on, I'm going to make it shorter. I'll make the time shorter. So I'm selecting everything. You can hold shift to click on all of them. Right, with this we can now test, make this 200 mx, make it around 1000 mx, and then this one I'm going to make it 300, the one at the top. You have to delay, and let's see what we have. So it's kind of smooth. It's kind of smooth now, but it can be better, right? So I would actually make it 800. So let me share the screen, sorry. So you see what I'm doing. I'll make it 800, and let's see what happens in the other one. Okay, so it's still much. Let me make that 2000, and this should be like 100. Okay. $3,000. So you just have to test it, see which one works for you. So it has to just fall. So I'm going to delete one of this. I'm going to delete the middle one. Actually going to delete the middle one. It's too much interaction for it. So from here it will go to this after delay, from this to this, from this to that. Okay, let me see what this gives. Okay, I'm deleting one more, moving it to the next one after delay, and let's see what happens now. Reload that screen. Let's test that. Okay. So this is exactly what I want it to be. So I would select all of these inside of it, just select everything and move them downwards to somewhere around. Okay, you're not seeing what I'm doing, sorry. So I moved it from where it was to somewhere around here. So let's see how that works for us. Let's try that out again. Okay, so that's exactly what we want, but in order for us to have it, we need to make it slow. So we're going to make it very slow. So I'll just select both of these and change the After Effects time into 800, and let me see how that works. Okay, so we're close to what we need. So change it from 3000 to 2000, and we're going to have something as slow, right? So I'm changing it to 1000, and let's see what that gives. That's so fast, so fast. Okay. Okay, so we're going to stick with this. I will change the one coming back to 1 second, and this one as well. Let's see, 1 second, 1 millisecond. Let's see what happens there. Okay, cool. So that's what we need. So this is a setting. I'm using after delay, 1 millisecond, smart animate. The action is on slow, and then I'm using, is this 600? Was it not? It wasn't 600. I did 6000. I'm using 6000 for it, for the interaction. Alright, so we have this one now sorted, and we'll then duplicate this out. Now, in order to use it for our design, we'll select all three of them that have been prototyped, go to our components here, drop down, create component set. Now we have all of our interactions and all the images we're going to use as this, so I would have to name them. I just want to name them 1, 2, and the last one we're going to name it 3, just so we know which one we're selecting. Alright, so with that, I'll select this and duplicate it, move it not into that frame, send it upward this way. That way I've calculated what I want to calculate. Select this, put it here. Alright, and we have this. So I'll just change the name of this to component, primary component. Okay, so change that to primary component, and from here we can change it to whichever one we want to change it to. So let's leave that at 1 first, and we're going to bring it into our design now. Right, zoom in, bring it up here, Amazing. And then we can delete the other one. We don't need the other one anymore. Select this. Now we have an in-between line, so I'll just grab the line. Right, the line has a proximity of 66, but in this other design it won't have that proximity, so send it to the back and then reduce this to this point. I'll group it, Ctrl G, and then you can have it extend as much as you want. Now I have the other icon I have at the center, so I'll bring it in here, and yeah, for the line I'm going to extend it some more, something like this, and then center it. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. And have this one, proximity between this one and the first component is 50, and that is what we're going to use for the rest of it. So select this, duplicate it, we're going to use 50 as well. So if you select all three, you see that here you can see the space in between. So space between item is 50. Alright, it's going to be the same thing for the last one as well. Not the last, yeah, the last one actually. That's where I'm going to stop, and I'm sure you'll be able to get something from this short presentation that I've done. Right, so from this last one you can change the text later to whatever you want, so we'll just leave it at this for now. And so for this one we'll now have to change the images. So this one we're going to change to image 2, and then this one we'll change it to image 3, and we are done. We are done with everything. So we just, I don't need this, delete. You know what, let me grab this. I'll just grab this and keep it at the end so that we know that that's the end of the design. So paste it here, send it downwards, constrain to the down part, and then move this upward a bit like this, and we are done. So this creates starting point flow 2. Okay, we didn't do this one, so select this, the line. So this is what you do with a line. Go to this part, click on the break detach style, click on this part. Alright, I'm just doing this for some newbies that might not know how to do this. So with that, you would have this line, you see all of this. So position one here and position the other one this way, create 2 in between, and then this one would now carry a figure of 0 actually. Let's just give it like 25. Go back to hash. We've given it 13, and this one would make that 13 as well. Right, should have this at the end of the day. Right, so this is cool for me. Go to prototype, play, and let's see what we have. So now I'm going to change the prototype show setting. I'm going to put it at iPhone 13 so that we can see what we have. And I'm going to change the background color to something like this, maybe like this. Let's see. Awesome. So we didn't prototype the card, but the card can be prototyped with just 2 cards. So you move one upward inside of a frame, and then you keep one in the position where it is, and you would have that effect. So this is the prototype of the other prototype that we have here, and then this is the second one that we did, and then this is the other one. It's shy. It was so fast. I knew it. So let me go back and fix that stuff. I saw 16 600. It's not supposed to be 600. It's supposed to be 6,000. So I don't know where that came from. Right. So let's take that from the top. Right. We have this. Have this other one, and then we have this. Alright guys, that's it from me, and if you have any question, I'll take 1 or 2 questions and then we call it a day. Thank you for coming to this to my class. Hello guys, did you see the end part of this? The blue background. Okay, so sorry guys, I don't know why my Wi-Fi just keeps tripping off. Alright, so to do the blue background, let me take you to this part. Is here, when you come to prototype, it always has a background, so it's going to be on black as default. Yeah, you can just click here, use your eyedropper to pick any color that you want. I can change the color to whatever I want, and it's going to affect the background of whatever you're designing. This will help you create like a video if you want to create like screen record your screen or your design and post them on the internet. This would help you put the background to be what you actually want it to be. And so with that, I don't know if you guys saw the prototype. Yeah, you can now see the prototype that was created, and yeah, that is basically how it works. Thank you so much, Pran. And yeah, the other prototype is downwards. It's here, so it's on after delay. What I've used for all of the prototype is after delay. So with after delay, you can create all of the prototypes for all the design that I've actually created. So that is it guys, and I hope you got something from that. I just noticed something in the other one, so I'm going to select this tool and unclip so that when it flows you can still see it. Okay, how can we send our prototype for users to test? So there are two ways. I'm going to show you two ways you can do this, and it's going to work for one is going to work for your portfolio if you want to share it to your portfolio, and two, if you want to send it to users. So if you want to share this to your portfolio, where you have this screen where I am now, when you play the prototype, at the top you're going to see share prototype. So click on it, and then you can allow anyone with link to view, or they can edit. They can either view or edit, or you can change it to only people invited to this file. So if I change it to this and I share this with you, you would have to request to see the prototype. So there are two ways. The first one is to copy this link and send it to the user, and the user, anybody, would be able to see this prototype. If I send it to you guys now, since this is a new file, I'll just copy it and paste it in the chat session, and anybody will be able to see it on their phone. Alright, so now with that prototype in the chat session, you can view it on your mobile phone. And then with the second one that says get embedded code, so with this embedded code, if you get it, if you open it, you're going to see this code, and then you can copy it and paste it in your Behance file. So if I have like a Behance post and I want to make a post on Behance, so let's say for instance I would create a new tab and I'll go to Behance, and on Behance I want to upload this prototype. So I'm going to come here, click on this. I can see you guys are already in the file. That was fast. So select Behance, and then I'll share this tab. I'll go to share your work. The network is a bit slow, so it's still loading. So I'll go to this part. I'm going to show that part when it's done loading. Alright, so I'm going to share a project, and in here I've copied the code. So when you go to share prototype, click on get embedded code, copy it, and then come up here and choose prototype. this is prototype. You can also choose it here. It's here, prototype. If you click it, you can now paste that code. If I paste the code here and I click embedded, it's going to showcase here. So within a split second and about a few seconds, it will load here. So what you're going to find here is the prototype, and you can see it's loading on my screen, and then anybody at all will be able to use it from this point. But before you share the code to this part, there's something you need to do. You need to ensure that you fix your, what's it called, your screen. I actually made it 100% because I wanted you guys to see it clearly. You fit it to screen, that way it's going to reduce in size, and then you can copy that particular code. So I'm going to leave it at 100%, and this is how users will be able to interact with it in your portfolio. So they'll be able to see it in your portfolio actually. And yeah, that's it, guys. Yeah, so that's it. Any other question before I shut down? Can anyone hear me? What about sharing on your case study design? How can we get the recorded video? Okay, I think the organizers would make that available to you guys, but I'll be sharing mine on my YouTube channel, so probably later on you can check that out. What about sharing on your case study design? Yes, I just showed you how to do that. So where are you going to upload the video? It's going to be on Behance, or if you have a portfolio website of your own, then you can record the screen and upload it there as a video content. So I just showed you how to upload it on your Behance account, like putting it alongside your case study work, putting it alongside. When you say alongside, what do you mean? Do you mean I don't know what you mean actually. So what do you mean, Joseph? Like putting it alongside your case study work. Alongside. That's what I just showed you on Behance. You mean the design? Yeah, okay, yeah. So you definitely have to export it. Okay, let me show you guys. I think you're talking about exporting the design. So for me, I like to create like a presentation, and if you see in the view file here, I've created like a presentation for my work, for what I was going to talk to you guys about. And I like to create presentations here. So after designing, you have to create a presentation. So after you choose your frame based on presentation, go to social media rather and choose Instagram post, and you can now convert all of these different screens to designs, right? You can convert it to design. So there's something I do. Have this, just change it to 20px, and then I'll give it frame of like, let's do this outside. I hope this is what you mean. Yeah, so with this I can now probably, let's say there are multiple designs. All right, can have this. There are multiple designs. Let me show you how I twist my designs. So I'm going to do this. Okay, move this upward. Let's duplicate this some more time. Select all of them, group them, Ctrl G, yeah, and then come up here. I'll go to plugins and I use Isometric. Isometric is spelled EASOMETRIC. METRIC in case you're not able to see it clearly. And then I'm going to choose top right, and within a few seconds from now it's going to flip this design in a different perspective for me. And what I would just do is just bring it into my frame, and I would have this. So with this, let's do this. Right, with this I'll select this one, send it to the top. I would add a drop shadow effect to it, bring it downwards a bit, something like that. Increase this, so let's choose blue, the dark blue, and then blur it. I'm going to blur it something like that, then reduce the opacity a bit, extend it some more, something like this. And these are just decorations, alright, nothing serious. Alright, and then I just have like an illusion in this manner. Change the background from what it is to something like this. Let's give it, yeah, something like this, and then select it. Alright, after selecting it, you can now hit export. So in my export, what I do is I use 4x for my designs, and I use PNG. I don't use JPEG. Alright, so I use PNG as the file extension, and then once you click export, this will export into your file, and that is how I do my designs. And yeah, I hope that helps. Alright guys, I think we've come to the end of my session. I don't know if the guys, so we've come to the end of my session. I don't know where the guys are, but I think I'll just call it a day. So in the absence of any other question, I would like to say, don't forget to show yourself out there. Try to show up for whatever opportunity you see to share your work. Show up, just come up, post your stuff, and ensure that people see the things that you do. And I'm always there to give you my little nuggets. I'll see you guys when I see you, and do have yourself a lovely evening.